Okay, so let's dive right in. We're looking at a pretty wild legal situation that's popped up in Georgia. And, well, it's got some serious implications for the case against former President Trump.
Definitely.
We're talking about Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis.
Right.
Now, she's the one leading the charge against Trump for election interference back in 2020. But get this, she's just been caught breaking open records laws and ordered to pay a lot of money. It makes you think, about transparency and whether there are conflicts of interest.
Yeah, the timing is, well, let's just say it's pretty remarkable. Willis is going after Trump for alleged misconduct and a lack of transparency.
Exactly.
And now she's facing accusations of the same thing.
Right. It's like, wow. Okay, so let's back up a bit. It all started with an attorney, Ashley Merchant. She's been trying to get Willis disqualified from the Trump case.
Huh.
So she put in a request for public records. Nothing too crazy, just information about Nathan Wade.
Okay.
He's a former assistant DA who worked on the case.
Right.
Now, Georgia has some pretty strong open records laws.
Oh.
They're all about keeping things transparent in government and the courts. It's about making sure the public and legal teams can get the information they need, to hold people accountable and ensure a fair trial.
Absolutely. Transparency is key.
So Merchant wanted to look into Wade's employment, but there's a twist.
Ooh.
He resigned.
I see.
And the reason he was romantically involved with Willis.
Interesting.
So Merchant suspected that there might have been some financial benefits tied to his appointment.
I see.
She wanted to check if there was a conflict of interest. So she requested these employment records to get to the bottom of it.
Makes sense.
But here's where things get wild. Willis's office just refused to give up the documents. And it wasn't just a delay. The judge overseeing all this, Judge Rachel Krause, she didn't mince words. She said they acted intentionally and were openly hostile about the whole thing.
Wow, those are some strong words coming from a judge.
Oh, right. And it's a big deal because it wasn't just a mistake. The judge found that Willis's office acted in bad faith. They weren't following their own usual procedures. That's why they got hit with a huge penalty, over $54,000, to cover Merchant's legal fees and court costs.
Ouch.
Talk about expensive. But, it really shows how serious this violation was.
Absolutely. It sets a precedent.
Right.
It shows that you can't just ignore these open records laws, especially when you're in a position of power.
And Merchant, she was pretty happy with the outcome.
Oh, definitely. This was a big win for her.
Yeah.
And it might even, pave the way for others who need to access public records, especially when those in charge don't want to release them.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Okay, so stepping back for a second.
Sure.
This isn't just about some paperwork in the Trump case. It really makes you think about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Transparency, potential bias in the DA's office.
Definitely.
What do you think this means for the case against Trump?
Well, it definitely throws a wrench in things. This ruling gives Trump's defense team something to work with. They can challenge Willis's objectivity, maybe even try to sway public opinion. It feeds into this idea that maybe something is being hidden.
Right. It's like, if they were so resistant to releasing these documents, what's actually in them? What are they hiding?
Exactly.
The judge gave them 30 days to pay the penalty and hand over those records. It makes you wonder.
Yeah. Those documents could reveal all sorts of things about Roe v. Wade's appointment, maybe some financial arrangements, who knows. It'll be interesting to see how both sides use this new information moving forward.
This whole deep dive has been a real eye-opener, It shows how important transparency is, especially in these huge legal battles with so much at stake.
Totally agree.
It's a good reminder that justice isn't just about punishing the accused, but also holding those in power accountable.
That's a good point.
This is definitely something we need to keep our eye on because the consequences could go way beyond this one case.
Absolutely. This is far from over.
Thanks for joining this deep dive. We'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned.
See you then.